I don't blame the Golden State Warriors for being really good. Good enough to kind of fool around with allowing the players to run plays on the court. The Golden State Warriors are that good, and they don't have to apologize for being that good. I don't love it that Kevin Durant joined a team as one of the best players in the world that had already won 73 games in a championship without him, but that's where we are, and that's old news. The Warriors don't have to apologize for being really good. And if Steve Kerr believes that something like this, whether it's serious, like they need to take ownership of the team, or whether it's a little bit lighthearted to kind of break up the monotony of a long basketball season, whatever that is, if it works, Steve Kerr doesn't have to apologize for doing it. His responsibility is waking up his squad, his players, and getting them focused to win a championship. If he does that, everything else be damned. So I don't mind it from that standpoint. Do I think it can work? Look, the NBA has always been an NBA player-driven league, much more so than football. You're never going to see in football the coaches turn play calling over to players and say, why don't you take more ownership of the team? In football, the coach is everything. The coach is the authority. The coach is the rock. You don't give players control or power or influence. It's not how it works. In the NBA, they've already got a lot of power, influence, say. I mean, LeBron James picks his players. Star players decide where they're going to play. Kyrie Irving says, I'm not going to play for you. Trade me in the middle of my contract. Or I'm going to get a knee surgery. This happens all the time in the NBA. So this is just the next outcropping of that. And I don't think it's devastating. I don't think it's destructive. I don't think it's debilitating. It's a really good team and a really good coach trying to connect with his players. I don't mind that part of it. And maybe it does work. Here's what is bothersome, is that we have an NBA season where one team is so much better than other teams that they can fool around like this. And let's face it, when Golden State loses a basketball game to the Rockets, to the Thunder like they did by 20 last week, if they lose, if they get pushed to the max by the Cavaliers or the Celtics in a regular season game, what do we all say? Well, could this be it? Could this be it? Could this? Because we want some drama. We want the Warriors to be knocked off. We want somebody to at least push them to the limit. And I think that's the big problem here, is that when the Warriors do this, it feels like they've lapped the competition so much that there is no drama and they can fool around and diddle away games by having Andre Iguodala draw up their out-of-timeout sets. That's the problem here, is that this just feels like the Warriors don't have to take anything really that seriously because they're still that much better. Now, maybe this is different this year, and what Steve Kerr was talking about last night at the podium after this was that we've had long seasons around here, and my voice eventually gets tired. We've played a lot of basketball games. This is part of the reason that in basketball, it's hard to keep this thing going forever, is because you play so many games, you play a long postseason. If you play into the NBA Finals 3, 4, 5 years, you're talking about playing late into June with 20-some-odd added games on top of 80-some-odd games every year. And at some point in time, it's just hard for everybody to keep focus. It's just really hard for guys not to get satisfied and bored. And that's the problem here. If the Warriors are just bored because they're so good. But I don't blame the Warriors. I don't blame Steve Kerr. I don't think Steve Kerr is the type of guy that tries to show you up, that tries to rub it in your face. It's just that Golden State is so good and has been so good for so long, they have to do things like this, non-traditional ways to grab these guys' attention. Do I think that this year the postseason could be different? I think, but sometimes I don't know if I'm just hoping. I think the Warriors can get pushed, but sometimes I feel like I'm just hoping.